In chapter 12, we're talking about responses. This is kind of like part B to chapter 12. Here I'm going to get a chance to do a little exercise and give you some experience about how would you respond to people who have different styles or different approaches in a kind of a real life situation. So in your handout, you have a one called How Would You Effectively Respond to These 4 Types of People? And each one of these is a different style and a different type of person to give you some practice of saying, well, what would I do? How would I approach this person under these circumstances with this situation to really be able to communicate well? Look at the first one, and I'll do the first one, and then I'm going to let you do the other 3. The first one has to do with a person who is, if you can see the graph, they're a high DI, low SC style in the graph. And let's say this is your manager. This is the person that you're working for. And the scenario then says that this is the situation, that you've made a delivery error and on your product, and it costs the company a lot of money with the error that you've made. Now you've got to communicate this error to your manager. How are you going to go about communicating this error and this mistake to this style of a manager, a high D and a high I style? Well, just think about that for a minute. What are some characteristics that the D's and the I's like? How do they like to be communicated with? And then what kind of things then would you say in order to help them understand what the situation was, what you did, and then more likely with the D, high D, what are you going to do about it? So think about that, put some dancers down there, and then move on to the other situations. And I think what you'll find is that what we're learning here is that the way we respond to people is going to be a lot based on where they're coming from and how they like to be communicated with and what things they're looking for in the flow of information.